Good afternoon. I want to start today by telling you all about my experience. A very common experience, one that I believe most women here have been through, getting my period. It was some early morning in 2020, around when the COVID pandemic was just picking up, when I woke up alone and found myself bleeding. I was confused and, to be fair, scared. Eventually, I mustered up the courage to wake my parents up, and after a couple hours of indecisions, I tapped them both on the shoulders and broke the news. And they started panicking. It wasn't completely uncalled for. I was only 11. Now, the healthy range of a girl getting her period is between 10 to 16 years old, but admittedly, 11 was quite early. In addition, height growth actually slows significantly after a girl's first period, and I was standing at a tiny height of 1.37 meters. Naturally, my parents were quite concerned. Due to their worries, my parents took me to the hospital, where the doctors asked for my symptoms. Then I was asked to receive an X-ray for bone age. I was oblivious the entire time. After seeing my scans and reports, the doctors gave me a diagnosis: central precocious puberty. She also discreetly informed my mother that I would grow to a maximum height of 1.5 meters tall. This was earth-shattering news to her. Any mother will want her child to grow up healthy and able-bodied, and it seemed as if fate had robbed me of that opportunity. She didn't even want me to become aware of the diagnosis out of the fear of hurting my self-esteem. I only found out years later, and honestly, I wish I could have known the truth earlier. Central precocious puberty, abbreviated as CPP, means a child's body decides to hit puberty way before it's supposed to. We're talking about the brain sending out signals that should only come years later. Typically, the age range in girls for CPP is up to 8 years old and up to 9 for boys, but that number is disputed and can range between individual cases. Children with CPP may experience symptoms such as premature development of secondary sex characteristics, body hair growth, a rapid growth spurt, acne, and body odor. As for the causes of CPP, in most cases, it stays a mystery. It could form as a result of brain or spinal cord injuries, but those are rare cases. One of CPP's most prominent effects is affecting growth, which will result in a shorter possible adult height. Puberty causes the growth plates in the bone to mature and eventually close. When puberty starts too early, those growth plates may close earlier as well, reducing the amount of time available for growth. However, some aspects such as the social and emotional effects of CPP are often overlooked. A study conducted in 2025 compared the mental conditions of children with and without CPP. The results show that compared to their peers, those with CPP were much more prone to developing mental disorders such as depression, anxiety, OCD, and ADHD. According to the study, there are a few potential explanations for this. Children with CPP could experience psychological distress from being bullied. Due to their physical development, they may face stigma from their peers. Additionally, the endocrine changes brought about by the earlier onset of puberty could disrupt brain maturation in younger patients. These risks further the social struggles of those with CPP. In some cases, peers may make comments or ask questions that make children uncomfortable. Even without intentional bullying, simply feeling different from everyone else around them can be a cause of stress. As a result, some children withdraw socially, become less confident, or struggle with their self-esteem. Fortunately, CPP can often be treated. The most common treatment for CPP involves medications called gonadotropin-releasing hormone agonists, or GnRH agonists. These medications temporarily pause the signal from the brain that trigger puberty. As a result, puberty is delayed. The children are given more time to grow physically and emotionally before going through the changes associated with adolescence. Doctors may recommend treatment for several reasons. One of the reasons is to improve a child's potential adult height. As I have mentioned earlier, puberty causes the closing of growth plates, and delaying puberty would give the child more time to grow. Another reason is to reduce the emotional and social challenges associated with an early puberty. By slowing down development, treatment could help children avoid some of the difficulties that come from being different from their peers. However, not every child with CPP needs treatment. It really depends. How old are they? How fast are they growing? How are they doing emotionally? Doctors look at the whole picture before deciding what to do next. I was one of the luckier ones. My parents knew what to look for. They got me help early, and they protected me from the worst of it all. But research tells me that the most important aspect of CPP are affected not by the disease, but the people around them. Many parents may not immediately recognize the signs of an early puberty. A growth spurt or body odor or physical development may seem surprising, but some families may just make the assumption that their child is simply developing a little faster than usual. As a result, medical attention could be delayed. Schools may also be unaware of the challenges that these children face. Teachers and staff members may not realize that a child who appears physically older is still emotionally the same age as their peers. Understanding this difference will be able to help adults provide better support and create a more comfortable environment for children. So, what can we actually do? First, pay attention. Know what signs to look for. A growth spurt out of nowhere, body odor in a 7-year-old, these aren't things to brush off. The earlier a family is able to catch it, the more options they'll have for treatment. We should also watch our words, as well as teach children without CPP to refrain from making insensitive comments. Many children with CPP are impacted by seemingly harmless comments about their bodies, including the past me. What felt like simple jokes to my friends and family actually remained in my memories, creating insecurities that hovered over my perception of self for years to come. If everyone just put some extra care into these words, we can save many years of trouble and fear for patients. On top of that, we should just be there for them. Children experiencing early puberty may have questions, fears, or frustrations that they struggle to express. Listening to them and taking their concerns seriously can make a meaningful difference. At the same time, they also need to grow in an environment where they can just feel safe, like every other child. That environment is something we can all work together to cultivate. For children, the hardest part of many childhood illnesses is not always the physical symptoms. Sometimes it's the way other people react to them. Children with CPP are often treated differently because they look different from their peers. The same is true for many other children living with visible or misunderstood medical conditions. They may face questions, assumptions, teasing, or exclusion for circumstances completely beyond their control. Children should not have to carry the burden of educating everyone around them while also coping with a medical condition. They deserve to grow up without being judged or discriminated against. Ultimately, CPP is only one example of a much larger issue. When we protect children with stigmatized illnesses, we are helping them grow up with confidence, dignity, and letting them know that their conditions do not define them. Every child deserves to be a child first and a diagnosis second. Thank you.